is over. The next morning, what do you have? You have a ticket stub, right? Little stub. And memory. I saw the game. But you're going to forget about it 20 years from now. It's not going to matter. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not a smart investment. That's all. Things that only last a few hours. Food, sports, thrills. We went to Disney World one time. Took my family there. Being a mathematician, I got my stopwatch going. And I said, you know, we're here on a light day. There aren't many folks here today. I'm going to see how much time we spend on the rides. Not waiting in line. Not walking to the ride. As soon as the ride starts, I start the watch. As soon as the ride quits, I stop the watch. We ran between rides. We were there for 12 hours. It was a light day. Not many folks there. We ran between the rides. We got as short lines. We did as many as we could to cram it in there. We spent 29 minutes out of 12 hours. They make a fortune while you stand there waiting in line like a bunch of cows going to market, right? Okay, everybody move up 2 steps. It's not wrong. It's just not a smart investment, that's all. It's just learn to invest a little wiser than that. Now, when you get a little smarter, a little older, a little more mature, you're ready for category number 3. Category 3, remember I'm giving you the list backwards, you can spend your money on things that last a few years. A car, furniture, clothes, that's going to last a few years. That's a little smarter. You give $5 to a 5-year-old kid, first thought comes into his brain is food. But you give it to a teenager, they're starting to get a little smarter. Clothes. That's still only category 3. It's not as good as it ought to be, but hey, it's not too bad. How many of you girls could spend $100 on yourself on one outfit in one day? You could go to the mall with $100 and spend it all on yourself, one outfit. Every girl here, right? Now, let me ask you a question. I want you to go to the mall today. I want you to spend $100, buy yourself a nice outfit. I want you to wear it. I want you to wear it for 6 weeks. Not every day for 6 weeks, you know, but wear it once or twice a week. Wash it once in a while. And then after 6 or 8 weeks, I want you to sell it. You paid $100 for that outfit. Nice dress, nice skirt, nice top, pair of shoes, purse to match. What can you sell it for?
Maybe about
50 cents at the garage sale, maybe, or $1.50 hanging in. Look, you're not going to get your money back, are you? No. Clothes are not a good investment. Now you got to have clothes, but how many of you could spend $50 on one pair of tennis shoes? Easily, right? How many have ever seen a pair of tennis shoes that cost more than $100? No. Right? Could you go to Walmart and get a pair for $12 and they work just about as good and save you a lot of money? Oh no, Brother Hovind, I got to have the kind that pump up. Got to have the pump. They're right. You're missing the point. You can spend your money foolishly on things that are not going to last very long. Cars. I've had 94 cars since I've been driving. I like cars. I've had 52 motorcycles. I got 5 of them right now. I like motorcycles. I've never had a new any of those. Always had a used one. I fix them up, ride them around, sell them. Since I've been driving, age 16, I got my first Volkswagen for $300. Drove it for 6 months and sold it for $600. I thought, hey, this will work. So I looked for another old beat-up car, fixed it up, washed it, waxed it, you know, wax on, wax off, Karate Kid. If it rattled, I fixed it, sold it, and made some money. I thought, hey, this will work. I began looking for old clunkers, buying them, driving them for a while, fixing them up, selling them, sometimes losing money, sometimes making money. I kept track for the last 26 years that I've been driving of every car I've ever bought, how much I paid for it, and how much I sold it for. My son, last year, and I figured out the profit or loss. Over 26 years, I have made $15,000. Now, that's no big deal. It's only $800 a year. That's not enough to live on. But that beats spending $200 a month on a car payment. Don't look at a new car and say, oh, I can afford that car payment. Oh, no, 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 no. You're looking at it all wrong. Can you afford the car? If you can't pay cash for the whole thing, you probably don't need it. Yeah, but you mean get a used car? Might have a problem. The new cars have problems. I worked at General Motors 2 years. I watched them go together. I'm surprised anything runs coming out of them factories, right? Those guys are only there to get their paycheck, believe me. Ah, it's close enough, let it go. I asked our foreman at the shop, I said, we built trucks at our shop. I said, we build 500 trucks a day here, right? He said, yeah, about 500 a day. I said, I see a lot of the trucks after we're done building them, they go over to the repair section where they got to fix something that got built wrong. He said, oh yeah, huge repair section. I said, how many of the trucks have you seen since you've been working here for 20 years that did not have to go to repair? He said, oh, I've never seen one. Out of 20 years, 500 a day, every one went to repair for something. Now look, cars are not a good investment generally, especially a new one. You are never going to make money buying a new car. You're going to lose a fortune. Okay, we got to hurry here. Number 3 was things that last a few years. Number 2, you're getting smarter now. Number 2 is you can invest your money in things that last you for a lifetime. If I gave you $5 and you're 5 years old, you would only think about your mouth. If I gave you $5 and you're a teenager, you'd probably start thinking about clothes. If I gave you $5 and you're a college student, now you're probably getting mature and you're thinking, ooh, I better invest this in my education. Because a lifetime investment like an education, you got from then on. Let's suppose you fellas say, I don't know what I want to be. All right, let's just pick something out of the clear blue. You're going to graduate from high school and you have no idea what you want to do with your life. Lots of kids are that way. That's not bad. Why don't you get a trade, get a skill to do something? If you spent $500 to go to Okaloosa Walton Junior College here to become a certified diesel mechanic, just pick a trade, diesel mechanic, right? After spending $500 or $1,000 to get your certificate, you have invested $500 to $1,000. But you are now a certified diesel mechanic, and you can make $20 an hour for the rest of your life. That's a smart investment. I was working for a dentist one time, remodeling his office. I said, Doc, what did it cost you to become a dentist? He said, oh, I spent $70,000 going through dental school. I said, $70,000? He said, oh, that was just the beginning. Then I had to set up my office. He said, each of these chairs is $5,000 a piece. You know, got the buttons on the side? $5,000 for a dental chair. He said, I got 3 of them. He said, then I had to buy the drills. And he pulled out drawer after drawer of those fancy stainless steel tools. You know, these drill bits cost this and this and this. And he said, I spent $50,000 getting set up in my office. I said, 70 plus 50. You spent $120,000 before you drilled your first tooth. He said, yep. I said, Doc, that's quite an investment. Was it worth it? He said, you tell me. I now make $130,000 every year. I got my calculator. I said, let's see, that's a good investment. Investing in your education is a smart investment. Let's suppose you girls don't have any idea what you want to do. My sister did this. She didn't know what she wanted to do, so my dad and mom said, hey, why don't you get a trade? Why don't you become a beautician? She said, all right. Cost her about $800 to go to beauty school. She learned how to cut hair and curl it and perm it and all that stuff, you know, the 210, and the 4 basic hairdos, the 110, the 220, and the 440. You stick their finger in a light socket. If it's 110 volts, you get a poof. If it's 220, you get a poof. If it's 440, it's poof. You got to open both doors to let the 440s in. But she spent $800 learning how to do hair. Then she made, in her own house, cutting hair, many thousands of dollars every year. Working whenever she felt like working. Made a fortune. That was a smart investment. Investing in your education, folks, is a lifetime investment. And some kids don't figure it out until it's too late. Some of you are still investing in Coca-Cola. Today is Halloween. 5 years ago, on Halloween, 6 years ago, I sat my kids down at the table. I said, hey kids, how'd you like to make some money? He said, yeah, Dad. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. It's Halloween night. If you will start right now, I will give you $100 a year from now if you don't drink any carbonated beverage.